Now let me tell you something. Respect is one of them things everybody wants, but not everybody knows how to get. Folks walk around thinking they can demand it, shout for it, or scare somebody into giving it to him. But real respect, that ain't about how tough you look, how much money you flash, or how loud you talk. Real respect is quiet, it's steady, and it shows up before you even open your mouth. People can feel it on you. See, psychology got a funny way of showing us that the little things, the way you move, the way you listen, the way you set your standards, that's what makes people stop and say, hold on, I need to pay attention to this person. You don't have to be perfect, but you got to understand how people's minds work. If you don't, you'll spend your whole life wondering why folks don't take you serious, why they brush past you like you invisible. I'm about to break down 5 powerful little secrets that can change the way people look at you, talk to you, and most importantly, how they respect you. Because respect ain't about begging for it. It's about earning it. It's about walking into a room and folks knowing you're somebody to be taken seriously without you even saying a word. Now let me be real with you. This ain't no magic trick. This ain't no fake it till you make it game. This is about understanding human nature, how people think, how they size you up in seconds, and how you can make sure those seconds work in your favor. Because if you don't control how people see you, they gonna control how they treat you. And I don't know about you, but I ain't letting nobody write the script for my life like that. So lean in, because I'm about to walk you through 5 secrets from psychology that'll make people respect you every time. These 5 right here, they'll change the game for how you carry yourself and how the world responds back to you. You know, a lot of people mess up when it comes to respect because they think it's something you can just demand. They think if they raise their voice, slam their hand on the table, or put on some kind of mean face, people gon' just bow down and respect him. But let me tell you the truth. That kind of respect don't last. That ain't real. That's fear, and fear fades quick. The moment folks don't need you or they find somebody bigger and badder, they gone. Real respect doesn't come from intimidation. It comes from presence. It comes from who you are every single day and whether or not people can count on you to be consistent. See, presence is powerful. You ever notice how some people can walk into a room and not even say a word, but everybody feels him? It's like the air changes. That ain't because they loud or flashy or trying to show off. It's because they built a reputation of consistency over time. People know when they show up, they mean business. They ain't one person today and somebody else tomorrow. You know what you're getting with them. And that right there is where respect starts. Consistency is everything. Think about it. If you meet somebody who's friendly one day and rude the next, how do you feel about them? You don't trust them, right? You don't respect them because you don't know which version of them is showing up. But if every time you see a person, they handle themselves with the same level of dignity, the same standard, the same presence, over time you start to respect that. You start to admire that they're steady, that they ain't easily shaken. People crave consistency because life is full of unpredictability. And when you become that steady rock, people can't help but respect you. Now, don't get me wrong, consistency don't mean perfection. You're gonna make mistakes. Everybody does. But when people know you own up to your mistakes the same way you own up to your victories, that's consistency. When they see you show up on time, put in the work, honor your word, even when nobody's watching, that's consistency. And presence is built on that foundation. Because presence ain't just about being physically in the room, it's about the weight your character carries when you walk in. You ever seen somebody who ain't the tallest, ain't the richest, ain't the best dressed, but when they walk in, the whole atmosphere changes? That's presence. And presence is a reflection of the habits you build when nobody's looking. It's the respect you've already earned when people see you stay true to yourself time after time. That's why you can't fake presence. Folks can smell fake a mile away. You can put on a nice suit, talk smooth, look confident, but if behind the scenes you inconsistent, if you one way today and another way tomorrow, eventually people gonna catch it. And when they do, they stop respecting you. Respect is really about trust. People respect who they can trust to show up the same way, not depending on mood or situation. You know why folks respect leaders? It's not just because of the title. It's because when the storm comes, that leader don't panic. They stay calm, they make decisions, they stay consistent under pressure. That's presence. And that's why respect is earned, not demanded. Because you don't earn it with one moment of acting tough. You earn it with years of showing up the same way, steady and true. Now, let me bring this to a personal level. Think about the people in your own life you respect the most. It could be a teacher, a coach, a parent, a mentor, maybe even a friend. Why do you respect them? Is it because they told you to? Or is it because over time you saw who they were, how they carried themselves, and you couldn't deny the weight of their consistency? That's the truth about respect. It ain't given by demand, it's given by recognition of who you consistently prove yourself to be. That's why I tell people, stop chasing quick respect. Stop trying to scare folks or impress them into liking you. That's temporary. Instead, focus on being the same person every day, a person of character, someone people can count on. Be steady, be reliable, be true to your word. Because when you do that, people don't just respect you for what you have, they respect you for who you are. And who you are will always carry further than anything else you try to show off. Respect is like a bank account. You don't just walk in and withdraw without ever making deposits. Every act of consistency, every time you show up, every moment you keep your word, that's a deposit. And little by little, you build up an account so strong that when you walk into a room, the presence of all those deposits speaks before you even open your mouth. That's why people turn their heads. That's why people listen. That's why people respect you. So don't fall for the shortcut. Respect can't be forced. It can't be bought. It can't be demanded. It can only be earned day by day, moment by moment, through your presence and your consistency. And when you master that, you won't have to ask for respect. People will hand it to you freely because they see who you are and they know it's the real thing. Let me tell you something powerful right now. People don't just decide out of nowhere how to treat you. They take their cues from you. The way you carry yourself, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you react in situations, that's the blueprint you hand folks on how they should approach you. If you carry yourself like somebody who don't value themselves, don't be surprised when people treat you like you ain't got no value. If you carry yourself like somebody with no boundaries, don't get mad when people walk all over you. But when you carry yourself with dignity, when you carry yourself with confidence, when you move like you got worth, people will treat you like you're worth something. Now, carrying yourself don't mean being arrogant, don't mean being cocky, don't mean acting like you better than everybody else. That kind of stuff only makes folks roll their eyes. Carrying yourself is about setting the tone for how the world engages with you. Think about it. If you walk into a room with your head down, shoulders slouched, eyes avoiding everybody, what message are you sending? You're telling people, I don't really matter. Don't notice me. And 9 times out of 10, they won't. But if you walk into that same room with your head up, shoulders back, a calm presence, a quiet confidence, even if you don't say a word, people notice you. They feel it. They adjust to it. The truth is, respect starts with how you respect yourself. Folks mirror the energy you bring. If you don't believe you deserve respect, they won't give it to you. If you constantly let people cross your lines, they'll keep doing it. But when you stand firm in how you carry yourself, you teach them that there are certain ways you will and won't be treated. That's why I always say, the world don't treat you how you want. It treats you how you allow. Think about a person you know who never lets people talk down to them, never lets people disrespect their time, never lets anyone treat them less than. Do they have to fight all the time? No. Do they have to yell? No. They just carry themselves in such a way that it's clear. This ain't somebody you can play with. They give off the vibe of, I know my worth, I know my value. And I don't need to scream it. You go and feel it. That right there is a life-changing mindset. You ever notice how kids will test adults? They'll push, they'll try to see what they can get away with. But once they realize, oh, this person don't play, I can't cross that line, they start respecting the rules. Adults are no different. People will test you. They'll test your patience, your boundaries, your limits. And if you don't carry yourself with strength, they'll take advantage. But the moment you show them you're not someone to be disrespected, they adjust. And they treat you according to the way you've shown them to. Carrying yourself is also about how you speak. Words got weight, and the way you deliver them matters. If you're always unsure, always apologizing, always second-guessing, people pick up on that. But if you speak clear, direct, calm, without being rude, folks listen. They say, okay, this person means what they say. That's teaching people with your tone, with your delivery, that your words matter. Even your body language is teaching people something every day. Crossing your arms, looking down, shrinking yourself tells people you ain't confident. Standing tall, looking people in the eye, giving a firm handshake, that tells people you got presence. You don't have to say a word, your body already spoke for you. And people will treat you based on that first impression. That's how powerful carrying yourself really is. And let's not forget, consistency plays a part in this too. You can't carry yourself like a king or queen on Monday and then act like a doormat by Friday. People get confused. They don't know which version of you is real. But when you're steady, when you carry yourself with the same respect in every environment, whether you're in the boardroom, the barbershop, or the grocery store, people start to realize this ain't an act, this is who they are. And respect grows naturally from that. The funny thing is, you don't even have to be the loudest in the room to command respect. In fact, most of the time it's the quiet, steady ones who get it the most. Because they carry themselves in a way that says, I don't need to prove myself to you. I already know who I am. And let me tell you, that right there is magnetic. People gravitate toward it. They admire it. They want to be around it. Because deep down, everybody wants to feel that kind of security in themselves. Here's the thing most people don't realize: the world is always watching you, even when you think it ain't. Folks pay attention to how you react under pressure, how you treat others, how you present yourself. And all those little signals are teaching them how to treat you. If you fold under every challenge, people won't take you serious. If you let folks talk reckless to you and don't stand up, they'll keep doing it. But when you carry yourself with strength, even in tough moments, people adjust. They know you're not the one to play games with. So every day you wake up, you're teaching the world something about you. You're teaching them whether to respect you or overlook you. You're teaching them whether to value your time or waste it. You're teaching them whether to take your words serious or ignore them. And it all comes back to how you carry yourself. Because the truth is, people will only treat you at the level you've shown them to. Now let me tell you something most people don't realize. Everybody thinks respect comes from who can talk the loudest, who can dominate a room with their words, who can out-argue everybody else. But the real power, the real way you get people to respect you, is not in how much you talk. It's in how well you listen. Listening with intention, really tuning into what somebody's saying, is 10 times more powerful than trying to win people over by raising your voice. See, the problem with most folks is that they don't listen to understand, they listen to reply. Somebody talking, and the whole time, they're just waiting for their chance to jump in. They're not even paying attention to what's being said. They're just thinking about what they're going to say back. And you can feel that energy. You can feel when somebody ain't really hearing you. That's why conversations turn into arguments. That's why people walk away feeling unheard. And that's why respect never gets built. But when you listen with intention, when you make somebody feel like in that moment they're the only person that matters, something changes. People open up. They trust you more. They feel valued. And here's the thing about respect. It grows when people feel valued. You don't even have to agree with everything somebody says. You don't even have to have all the answers. But if you give them your attention, if you give them your ear, they're going to respect you for it, because they don't get that everywhere. Think about how rare it is these days for somebody to put down their phone. Look you dead in your eyes and say, I'm listening. We live in a world full of distractions. Folks texting, scrolling, half listening, nodding along, but their mind is somewhere else. So when you meet somebody who gives you their full attention, it hits different. It makes you feel important. It makes you feel like what you're saying matters. And the one who makes people feel like that, that's the one who earns respect. Listening with intention also shows confidence. You don't need to fill every silence with your words. You don't need to prove yourself by dominating the conversation. You can sit back, let other people speak, and take it all in. That shows you're secure. That shows you're not afraid of what somebody else got to say. In fact, you value it enough to listen. That's strength right there, because only insecure folks feel like they got out. Talk everybody just to feel respected. Another thing about listening is that it teaches you more than talking ever will. If you're always the one doing the talking, you're never learning anything new. You're only repeating what you already know. But when you listen, when you ask questions, and then stay quiet long enough to hear the answer, you gain knowledge. And people respect those who are willing to learn, who don't act like they know it all. Listening humbles you, and humility is one of the strongest roots of respect. Now, don't get it twisted. Listening with intention doesn't mean just sitting quiet with your mouth closed while your mind is somewhere else. That ain't it. Listening with intention means you're present. You're nodding, you're reacting, you're asking follow-up questions that show you're paying attention. It means you're catching not just the words, but the emotions behind the words. It means you're trying to understand where that person is coming from, not just waiting for your turn to talk. You ever had a conversation where you poured your heart out and the other person responded in a way that showed they didn't hear a single thing you said? That hurts. That makes you feel invisible. And invisible people don't give respect back. But if somebody repeats your words or says, I hear you and I get where you're coming from, even if they disagree, you feel acknowledged. That's where mutual respect is born. I've seen it happen plenty of times. A leader who listens to their team, even when they don't have all the solutions, gets way more respect than the leader who just barks orders all day. A parent who listens to their kid earns more trust than the one who only lectures. A friend who sits in silence and lets you talk it out instead of trying to one-up your story is the one you call when you need somebody the most. And every single one of those examples comes back to the same thing. Listening builds respect because listening makes people feel seen. Here's another layer to it. Listening also keeps you from making mistakes. You ever notice how folks who don't listen end up saying the wrong thing, giving advice nobody asked for, or offending somebody without even realizing it? That's because they were too busy talking. But when you slow down and listen, you gather the full picture. You know what's really going on, and when you do speak, your words carry weight. People lean in when you finally talk because they know you were paying attention before you opened your mouth. Listening with intention is like a mirror. It reflects back respect. When you give people your attention, when you show them they matter, they return the respect to you. They trust you more, they confide in you, they see you as someone with wisdom, even if you didn't say much. And that's the irony of it all. The quieter you are, the more powerful your voice becomes. Because people respect not just your words, but the way you carry yourself in conversation. Let me break this down for you because a lot of folks get this one twisted. People think that setting boundaries means you being cold, you being selfish, you shutting people out. They think if you say no, or if you put a line in the sand, you're going to lose people. But the truth is the opposite. Boundaries don't push people away. Boundaries make people value you. When you don't have any boundaries, when you let folks treat you any kind of way, they don't appreciate you. They take advantage. They get comfortable walking over you. And the worst part is you start to lose respect for yourself. But when you put boundaries in place, when you show people how you deserve to be treated, you don't lose value. You gain it. See, boundaries ain't walls. A wall is meant to shut people out. A boundary is meant to show people where the door is, how to come in, how to treat the space once they're there. It's saying, you're welcome here, but there are certain ways you're going to act when you step into my space. That's not selfish, that's self-respect. And when you respect yourself enough to set those lines, other people start to respect you too. Think about it. If somebody is always available, always saying yes, always giving, never stopping, do people value that? Maybe at first, but over time they start expecting it. It stops being special. It stops being appreciated. But when somebody says yes with intention, when they say no with confidence, when they protect their time and their energy, suddenly their yes means more. People understand that if this person gave me their time, it's valuable. That's how boundaries create respect. And let's be honest, without boundaries, resentment builds. You ever said yes to something you didn't want to do just because you were scared of disappointing somebody? And then the whole time you're doing it, you mad at yourself, you mad at them, and you walking away drained?